Absolutely. I mean, one mistake that I've seen companies make is having a playbook, but then feeling the need to follow it rigidly in every transaction when, some transactions are inherently much lower risk than other transactions. I'm curious whether in your playbook or otherwise, how do you guys do that initial risk assessment? So a deal comes in, do you have like a scorecard or a series of questions you ask? How do you quickly come up with a process to sort of risk rank the deal, if you will, and figure out, what's our approach going to be here? How much do we need? Obviously, knowing that something could come up down the line, which completely alters your view of the risk profile. But what's your approach?
I'll start, Nancy, then you can complement what I say. I think there are, this is maybe not a perfect answer, Stacey, but one of the things that helps us is muscle memory. So we don't have everyone in our department handling M&A transactions. We have a core set of folks who are skilled and trained and have been doing this for a while. I think that creates a muscle memory that you kind of know your way around the playbook, so to speak, and you kind of have a sense as to what questions to ask and how to tailor the assessment to the needs of the deal. But nothing replaces having a conversation or being part of the deal team to understand what does the target do? What is their line of business? What are the products? Who are their customers? What is their reliance on third parties? All of those things. We don't have like a drop-down list where if it's this type of business, only these questions apply. So it's a bit of art and science. It's a bit of feel, but I think it comes from experience. And I think some of the folks on our team who are more experienced in the M&A space are sharing that expertise with others. And so one of the ways that we had tried to pass along that knowledge is through centers of excellence. So we have practice areas within compliance, and we've identified key risk areas or key practice areas. And one area is M&A. And so as we think about mergers and acquisitions and joint ventures and divestitures, we have a practice area of a group of people from across our team that are sharing learnings, talking about deals, continuously improving the process. And I think that focus has helped us and makes a difference when we think about right sizing the diligence requirements and the post-close implementation plans and all the things that come with M&A work.
Yeah, similar to what Ben mentioned, we have hesitated using any sort of a tool or a matrix or a heat map even to risk rank these types of deals over the years. We've debated it. We've thought about whether or not that would make sense for us. But ultimately, depending on how your particular company may choose to operate, but rarely does a deal make it to us, right, to the point where we're getting the lawyers involved and we're sort of, full scale on diligence, where there's kind of a non-starter on the table, where we're looking at criminal liability, where we're looking at a company that's been through, had some significant scandal, for example. I just don't, like I said, historically, that really hasn't made it to our plate. It wouldn't be something that we likely would be interested in. But by the time it makes it to us, I think that I'm going to go back to my learning comment, Stacey, that I made very early on, having your team understand valuation and what that means. And so you may find something during the course of diligence. You may find something that may trigger perhaps a significant investigation where you may say, it's a factor in assessing the risk. But think about how much people time, resources, monetary resources, these tend to be expensive when you have to hire outside counsel perhaps to help you manage through this particular investigation. You need to be able to, from a risk perspective, identify those earlies, plug them into the valuation model so that all of these smart and sophisticated BD, business development or corporate development and planning teams can then adjust the valuation model and pay less for that particular entity depending on those risk factors that you input into the model, which is why I say, again, the more sophisticated your own teams can become in understanding what goes into the overall risk model, not just from an E&C perspective, the better.